Welcome to Inspiring Possible. I'm Christy Pennison, former stuck person turned therapist and dream consultant. Are you feeling stuck, overwhelmed, uncertain, or just need a little inspiration? Then I want to help you gain the clarity, confidence, and courage to create possibilities and live a life you love. Because folks, life's too short to be miserable. Hello, possible people. How's it going in your world? What's new? What's up? I tell you what, I'm getting towards the end of a week this week. We recently had what I call a storm scare in our area, and it actually did affect different parts of our state, but it didn't affect things in the way that we thought it would where I live. And what's crazy about these experiences in life is that you start to adopt beliefs about what may happen based off information that you receive. And then you go into preparation mode because really you're preparing for what could be bad, what could be good, what could be okay, but you're just preparing and waiting. And I don't know about you, but sometimes waiting is the hardest part. But thankfully, we did not see any of what we thought was going to be seen in our area, which is a super big yay. But all of that energy it takes to prepare for something in anticipation if it's going to happen or not can really start to just affect like your nervous system about what you're preparing for. And so if you are in a stage of life right now where you are anticipating something. Maybe it's a big change. Maybe it's something that you know is about to shift in your life, and you are feeling a little bit drained or on edge because of all of that. No, it's completely normal. Part of creating possibilities is learning to ride. Well, I can't even say that right. Ride, like, a ride on a roller coaster. Have you ever went on a roller coaster ride? I mean, I really don't like those, but it goes up and you're anticipating the drop and you're excited, but at the same time, you're scared and feared for your life. Like, what if this roller coaster goes off the track? And you experience a range of emotions. Well, just like in life, there is often this roller coaster that we are on, and it's full of ups and downs and unexpected turns. And paying attention and riding the waves of those emotions we experience is crucial to being able to create possibilities. So, I'm coming today to start off this episode with hopefully a word of encouragement that if you feel topsy turvy, you're not sure what to expect, and you're just full of all the emotions, I encourage you to hold on, just like you would in a roller coaster, say a few prayers, and remember at some point that roller coaster will come to a stop and you'll be able to get off the ride. But hopefully, you're not getting off the ride anytime soon because the ride of life is really a gift, and we just never know when the ride's going to stop. But part of it is allowing ourselves to be human and feel that range of emotion. But that is totally, totally not what I was prepared to come on here and talk about today. It'll be a solo episode with yours truly. And that was totally a glimpse of what a psychiatrist I used to work with swore by me. He said, Christy, you have an ADHD brain. And it's probably true. My mind goes in way different places, but part of it is knowing yourself, know thyself, and then when to rein it back in. But hopefully, I just felt led to say that. So hopefully, that will support whoever's listening if you are feeling that way right now. But let's get into it. What we're actually going to talk about today. Bum, bum, bum. Do you have any ideas? Any ideas? No? Well, we're actually going to talk about something I haven't talked about in a minute, but it is a tenet, I would say. It is a vital step, a pillar. When we started this podcast, there were pillars I talked about, like, what is this podcast kind of founded on? What are the premises? What are the things that I believe it takes to get from where you are right now to possibilities? And I've been thinking about this a lot lately. So I'm like, if I'm thinking about it, it may be something good to share because you may have thought about it too, or maybe you've never thought about it, and maybe it'll give you some thoughts to take into your life today. But today we're going to be diving into the power of belief, folks. Do you believe in love after love? Okay, sorry. I was channeling my inner Celine Dion, which I am not. But belief is this thing that shapes all of our lives. And you might be like, Christy, I don't have some beliefs. I don't have no beliefs. And I'm like, no, you believe something. You maybe believe that you're going to wake up tomorrow, because you've waken up every other day of your life. You might believe that the sky is flat or the earth is flat or the earth is round, whatever. You know what I'm talking about? You have beliefs. And these beliefs, when we're talking about beliefs, they're deeply held convictions about three things: ourself, others, or the world. And we all walk around in life with these belief systems that we have developed throughout the years. And so today we're going to break down this belief thing from how do core beliefs form, and more importantly, practical ways to challenge and change these beliefs to create more fulfilling lives. But first, I'm going to share one of my quotes, or I don't know if it's my favorite quote, but it's a quote that I heard once that I was like, yes. And I think it's going to really highlight what we're talking about today. And the quote is, and I don't know who said it. I'm terrible at this remembering who said it, but the quote is, everyone is a genius, but if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it's going to live its whole life believing that it is stupid. But I love this analogy because this phrase, because it paints a picture in your mind about how beliefs could be powerful. If you saw a fish trying to climb a tree tomorrow, I'm sure most of y'all would stop and be like, this must be the second there might be something about to happen, the apocalypse. Where's the zombies? I don't know. But like if you saw a fish trying to climb a tree tomorrow, it would throw you off because it's not in the realm of what you're used to. You probably, like me, believe because you've seen fish in the sea the whole time maybe you've been on this planet or in a fish tank, one or the other, that fish cannot climb trees. I've never seen one. Have you? And so I walk around with the belief that fish swim, they don't climb. Okay. But if I judged a fish by its ability to climb a tree, I would be not honoring that fish for its unique skills, talents, abilities, personality, light it brings into the world, food it gives me. I would be judging that fish wrongly. And oftentimes we judge ourselves by this ability we think we should or shouldn't have, or these beliefs we form about ourselves that may not be 100% accurate. They might be totally inaccurate. And we sometimes go through life limiting the possibilities for ourselves. And I'll be honest, folks, the heart of this podcast really came behind I don't know, I don't want to call it a sadness, but because I limit myself too. I always like to throw myself under the bus along with y'all. I mean, I have limited myself and I still limit myself from possible possibilities. But what hurts my heart more than anything in the world, maybe not anything in the world, but it does hurt my heart, is that seeing people who go through life believing they are less than, that this possibility is not possible for them, maybe it's for someone else, because they're judging their ability or they're walking around these belief systems. And maybe they were judged by other people growing up and received messages. And they walk around believing their whole life that I can't, or it's not for me, or that's just maybe for somebody else. And so today we're going to talk a little bit about these core belief systems and how to change it. So first off, what are core beliefs? So these are fundamental ideas we hold about ourselves, others, and the world around us. They often operate beneath the surface of our awareness. So this means that most of the time we're walking around not aware that we are operating out of these core beliefs. Okay. And you got to think about it like an operating system, right? I mean, we all live in the computer generation and there's Macs and there's PCs. Each of them have operating systems.
And in fact, this computer I'm looking at right now as we're talking is a Windows. It's Windows, guys. It tells you that I'm not a Mac person. Don't judge me, please. It has this computer functions on a certain operating system. And our core beliefs are like the systems, kind of in a way, under the surface that run our lives. Most of the time, we're not aware, but these core beliefs are shaping our thoughts, they're influencing our feelings, and they're sometimes dictating our behaviors. So, how do they develop? Well, when you was a little baby, you came into world somehow. I'll say we all dropped here. It's kind of fantastic and miraculous that we all show up here and form some form and then we develop through life. It's really crazy if you really think about it, like just the miracle of being alive. But we're not talking about that today. But beliefs form early in life and they're often shaped by our experiences with our family, our friends, our culture, maybe peers, and society. And they can be influenced by both positive and negative experiences. And I would even say sometimes more the negative than the positive. And let me just give an example. Let's say that when you were a kid, you were praised for your achievements. So that kid, maybe every time they achieved something and did something right, they were given the you're doing great. Man, that's amazing. Keep going. Or let's say that that child that even was striving to achieve things failed every time. And that parent then said, hey, it's okay. You tried. Keep going. And then let's flip the scenario. And on the other hand, maybe there's another child in the same situation, but they're criticized a lot. You didn't do that right. Why can't you do this? You should have been able to get that award. I don't think you're trying hard enough. All of those messages can sometimes then develop into a belief that maybe I'm not good enough. And those are just examples. So, a positive core belief would be I am worthy of love. Why don't you repeat that after me? Wherever you're driving, let's take a moment to repeat that because it's such a powerful belief that many of us don't always adopt. So, repeat it after me. I am worthy of love. How did that feel? For some of you, you might not be able to say it. For some of you, you might be like, yes, I am worthy of love, but I want you to try to repeat that one to yourself a few times. And repeating it doesn't mean that you're going to adopt it. So we're going to get into how do we adopt core beliefs, but a positive belief would be, I am worthy of love. Another one could be, I can handle challenges. Another positive belief that I like to adopt is, I am blessed. I don't always feel blessed. Sometimes my thinking is stinking and it needs to be reframed, but I'm blessed. I'm here. I am breathing. I get to talk to you on this podcast. How fortunate am I? Another positive belief are people are generally kind. Sometimes people have fault me for my optimistic thinking throughout the years, and it has become more realism, maybe not pessimistic, but throughout the years. But having a belief system that is generally more positive focused. Imagine how you walk around through life thinking I'm worthy of love, right? That's a whole lot different than some of these negative beliefs that we can hold like I am unlovable. I am not good enough. The world is unsafe. So core beliefs are these foundational beliefs that we have again about ourselves, others, and the world around us. And these core beliefs kind of act like these filters influencing how we interpret events. So imagine, I'll be honest with you, I'm not blind, but I am visually impaired. And without glasses or contacts, you would not want me driving down a road. Okay. But when I put on glasses, it filters my vision so that I can see clearly. And core beliefs are often like filters. They influence how we interpret events. So think about it. If I'm driving down the road without my glasses on, life looks real fuzzy and I may miss an animal running across the road because I don't see it. I can't see it, right? And it's influencing how I'm driving. It's influencing how I interact with people. So if you believe, core belief, if you believe you're unworthy, you may interpret a neutral event like someone not texting back as a sign of rejection, On the flip side, someone with a positive self view might brush it off as the person being busy. Does that make sense? You get it? So these beliefs can sometimes become self-fulfilling, which means that if like we have this belief for so long, our actions often align with it. For example, if you believe you're capable, you're more likely to take risks and succeed. If you don't believe you're capable and you believe maybe I'm not good enough, I can't handle challenges, that's for somebody else, then you're not going to try to take some risk and to try to go towards this unknown situation. But I have good news. Despite what beliefs you have and hold, most of the time we're not aware. We're going to try to uncover those a little bit right now. The more you can identify them, the more you can question them, the more that you can, what I call, reframe them, and then take steps to try to build new beliefs, then really honestly, anything is possible. I come from a background that is deeply rooted in a lot of, I guess, Christian belief systems. And, there was a verse in the Bible, and I'm going to try to find it real quick because if not, I'm going to butcher it, where this guy is trying to get help for his son in the Bible. That's what I'm referencing, a story from the Bible. Help my unbelief. This father cries out and says, I remember I think like the child was sick or something like that, and pretty much he was asking for healing. And can you imagine your child sick? If you're a parent out there, like, you know, you're gonna come to bat for your child. And so this father was standing in the gap for the child, and pretty much they're saying like, well, you have to believe. Like if this child is gonna get healing, you have to believe. The father immediately cried out whenever Jesus was saying to him, if you believe, all things are possible for him who believes. The father cried out and said, Lord, I believe, help my unbelief. And then guess what happened? What was impossible literally became possible. And so I'm not sharing this story to say that you have to adopt this belief system. But what I am sharing, because we all have our own belief systems, right? Is that belief is so powerful that it can shape the trajectory of your life. And if you have been holding on and walking around with negative beliefs that you've maybe carried your whole life that you've never questioned, somebody told me, so it must be true, then you could be limiting what you were supposed to do. Maybe use that fish who's supposed to be in the water, but you're trying to climb the tree. But we need to get you back to water. So let's talk about how to identify and challenge some of these beliefs. So the first step in changing a belief is to become aware of it. This is anything in life, folks. To change something, you have to be aware of it first. So sometimes just journaling, sometimes therapy, or talking with a trusted friend can help. And you can ask yourself questions like, what do I believe about myself when things go wrong? What patterns do I see in my relationship? Or if you really have on your heart to do something, I always like to say, what's holding me back? Then once you've identified whatever belief, and I encourage you to take out a piece of paper and write down all these beliefs that come to you that you may think that you believe about yourself or the world around you. And once you've kind of identified some of these limiting beliefs, these beliefs that are holding you back, you want to ask, is this really true? What evidence supports this belief? How you know it's true? Just like I know that that fish swims in the water because I've never seen a fish climb a tree. I would like to believe that a fish can't climb a tree. But all the evidence I have supports that that's true. Many times, the negative core beliefs that we have about ourselves are based on isolated incidents or misinterpretations about what happened to us or what was going on. So, first, you have to ask yourself, is it really true? And then, after you figure out what evidence supports or contradicts it, then you need to work on reframing it. And when I say reframing it, is maybe like, let's say that there's something I really want to do physically. I'll say pull ups. I wish I could do a pull up, guys. I just am not very good at it, and I've tried for years. But if I have the limiting belief I could never do a pull up, well, the reframe would be, you know, I may not can do a pull up now, but I'm working towards it. So you see what I did there? I went from I never to a belief system or a thought process that says maybe not right now, but it doesn't mean that it's not possible. So another, for example, that could a limiting belief that could be shifted is you could change like I'm not good enough to I'm learning and growing and that's enough. So often the exercise I give people is to write down limiting beliefs on one side of the paper. And then on the other side of the paper, really ask yourself those questions. Is it really true? How can I reframe it into a more positive belief? And then the way that we cultivate new beliefs is going to be something that is going to be surprising, maybe to some of y'all and not surprising to others, is you have to do it through action. So belief change requires action. Let me repeat this again. Belief change requires action. The end. You can't just think your way into a new belief. So, like earlier, I was like, repeat after me. I wish it was that easy. We'd probably all have new beliefs in life, but you have to take steps to reinforce it. And here's a few ways that you can help with this belief change, especially if you've identified a belief that you want to adopt and that is contradictory from an old negative belief pattern. The first thing you want to do is affirmations. You want to regularly repeat affirmations that align with your desired beliefs, such as I am worthy, I am capable of achieving my goals. And listen, guys, I have conversations with myself. Sometimes my head will say, Christy, not today. You can't do that. And I have to catch myself in mid thought and say, nope, 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 nope. I am capable. Or if I think I can't do that, then I have to tell myself, who says? Who says you can't do that? You can do that. And so part of it is affirming yourself, okay? And you have to be your biggest cheerleader, guys. You're the longest relationship you'll ever have in your life. The next thing you want to do is take some small steps. If you want to believe you're capable, take small, manageable risk over a period of time that build confidence. And what happens is each success strengthens the new belief. And this does not happen overnight. When you are taking small steps, like let's say to believe that you're capable, it doesn't happen with I just took this one step and woo, my belief has changed. No, it doesn't happen that way. You have to take small steps over a period of time consistently. But guess what? I believe in you. You can do it. Another thing is you need support. You need support. If you are around people that are reinforcing your negative beliefs about yourself, you need to find a way away from them. But being around people who reinforce your positive beliefs around yourself can accelerate change. So seek you out some environments that are uplifting for you, people that are uplifting to you. I always say other people believed in me before I believed in myself. And I 100% know that's true. There were strengths, there were abilities that people saw in me before I could ever see in myself. And I'm getting a little emotional thinking about it. Thank you, people. But those people had to believe in me first. And then I started to adopt the beliefs that they had about me, which is crazy. But that's the importance about being around people who see your value, who see your worth, that will uplift you instead of tear you down, that will highlight your strengths instead of your weaknesses, that will support you through challenges versus tearing you down. So surround yourself with support. And last but not least, so it's affirmations, take small steps, surround yourself with support, and challenge your comfort zone. Growth happens when you're pushed beyond what's comfortable. If it's comfortable, it's not going to change you. I hate to tell you, it's not going to change you. But each time you step out of your comfort zone, and guys, I'm not going to lie, it don't feel good to step out of your comfort zone. Everything within you is going to say, retreat back to comfort, right? But every time you do it, you're proving to yourself that you can handle more than you thought. And I bet you if you look back in life, you've made it through so much more than you thought. So challenge your comfort zone. Growth happens when you're pushed beyond what's comfortable. So just to wrap this up, I'm sharing some thoughts with you today that these core beliefs, they are powerful forces. They are powerful forces that shape how we show up in the world, how we view the world. But the good news is, I'm going to provide some good news for you, is that they aren't set in stone. So by identifying, questioning, actively challenging those limiting beliefs, guess what? We can cultivate new ones. And those new beliefs can support a life filled with possibility and growth. Hallelujah. So remember, belief change takes time, but with intentional steps, you can transform your mindset. So I'm going to give you all a call to action because we're not going to leave today without me encouraging you to do something because y'all know I give you a takeaway. But today I want you to reflect on a belief that has been holding you back. And I want you to ask yourself this question. Yourself this question. What small action can you take to change that belief and start moving toward the life you want? Okay, guys, go challenge them beliefs that may be holding you back. And just remember, belief change takes time, but it is possible. Until next time.
That's all for today on Inspiring Possible. If you found a little inspiration today, please go on over to iTunes, Spotify, or wherever you tune in to listen to leave us a comment and rate us. Also, make sure and link up with me at inspiringpossible.com to get the free Dream It, Write It, Do It workbook. And don't forget to follow us on social media and share this with anyone who needs to be inspired. Remember, if you can believe it, it's possible.